Hey, how's everybody doing today? So today we're going to talk about how you can make value without blending, like with a pencil or chalk where you're blending. If you're using ink or markers, we don't blend those supplies. So how does an artist make an area appear darker without coloring in or without blending? And so there are some drawing techniques that are great to know. And if you look behind me, there's a chart about showing 3 different ones. The top one is called hatching, and so that's when you're just using diagonal lines or horizontal lines, but just lines that go in the same direction. And below it, you can see the little tiny dots. That's called stippling. And so when you're doing that, you are again clustering. The closer the dots are, the darker it might look. The closer the lines are, the darker it will appear. And the last one up on this chart is cross-hatching. And so the lines are crossing each other. And so if you look, I started with from light to dark and practicing what that would look like. So this is just like a gray scale, right? A scale that is going from dark to light. But in this case, we're not creating gray. We're not blending color. So for your lesson, you're going to need a piece of paper, and we're going to make our own, like the example in your slideshow, we're going to make our own practice sheet where we're going to try to use all of those different drawing techniques and plus one extra that you make up. So I've made up my own on there, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. So the first thing we need to talk about is just how to fold your paper. So we need to have 16 parts. Okay, so we have our whole piece of paper, but we need to turn it into 16 parts. So we're going to fold it in half first. So just a normal fold, a book fold. And then we're going to fold it in one more time. So this would give us 4 parts. And if I fold it one more time, it's going to give me 8 equal parts. And then one more time will give me 16 equal parts. So I've taken my whole and I have divided it up by folding it into 16 equal parts. Okay. So from there, you're going to start with 1. So here's my hatching. And then I use a little more, and a little more, and a little more. So my lines get closer to create a darker value. And then this one, this is my stippling, I think, my circles. Nope, this is my stippling. So my dots, and my dots get closer and closer together to create a darker section, and I could probably do even more there. And then this one is my hatching, where they are crossing over each other. And you can see it get darker, it goes to the end. And the 4th one can be something you want to try. So in our example, I think they did circles, but I've seen lots of other shapes as well. And so it doesn't really matter what you pick. So I picked little circles, and then my circles, instead of a dot, so a dot is colored in, a circle is open. So I have dots, and then they get more clustered together, and it makes it even darker. So another good one to do for that would just be like little lines. So I'm going to show you a real quick example of coming up with your own. So if I was coming up with my own and I wanted to do short lines instead of long lines that go all the way across, it would be, if you were at your darkest one, you could just do little lines. Right? Some people do, what if I wanted to do, well, we did circles. So you can, oh, I know. I saw somebody in one do wiggly lines. So if I did these wiggly lines and I kept them far apart, that would be my lighter one. And the closer I put them together, they would start to appear darker. Not very neat here. And I would keep going and get them as close as I can together to make them darker. So if you look at the examples in your slide, there's lots there for you to see, and I'm sure you'll be able to come up with anything, but it's not done until all 16 are done. And notice that we're not going up and down, we're going left or right. Okay, so I've got my lightest ones going to my darkest. The same type of line going across and getting darker. The same type of dot or shape, okay, or line. So we're creating value. Next week we're going to be putting this together, these concepts. So this week we're practicing. We're getting good at it. And you can use anything. So I use the color red. You could try just gray pencil if you want. Whatever kind of material you want to do, it really doesn't matter. It can be marker. For this one, I want you to try to use the same color for all of them so that you can see the difference and how the different shape might look differently. Okay? So, good luck.